They gave us a lot there, particularly in the first half, and credit to them. We wish them really well. I really hope Cedarville and Pat, they have a great group, and I hope they have a great year. I know they had a 20-win season, a lot of guys returning. It's an exciting team, I think, for that school to get behind and follow, and we wish them well. From our perspective, I think it was good in a lot of ways because we were, as we expected we might. We got exposed in some areas, but a lot of good moments from our group. We obviously need to get better at a rapid pace here before Wednesday, and we'll dive into that as a staff here probably tonight. So,
Chris, what did you like once you fall behind by one and you guys put together a pretty significant run? What did you like about seeing some adversity there and how you guys responded to it in that moment?
Yeah, I think, you don't ever want to panic in those situations. I thought our guys played with pretty good poise. I think we just needed to play better and more detail. They made some shots, Adam, but I thought we our poor attention to detail defensively allowed them to get some things. And then we had I think we had four of our shots blocked within the first 8 minutes. So we just were not very good offensively in stretches there. All things we have to do better and coach better, but I thought our poise there. I thought Caleb was really good in that stretch that allowed us. I thought he and DJ were instrumental in that stretch.
We just talked to the freshmen for the first time. I'm curious, after they have a game like this where they all get a good amount of minutes, productive, but next week, obviously, the challenge ramps up.
Yeah.
This was a step up from high school, but it's going to be an even bigger step next week. How do you
Much better, yeah.
how do you communicate that so that while you want to show them what they did well here, you also want to make them aware that Cincinnati's going to be a whole different level?
Yeah, we've talked about that, and I've said this is the most challenging opening game I've ever coached in. I think a lot of ways because it's going to be such a different style than it was last year to compete against. And I've got tremendous respect for John and how good, obviously, he is as a coach and the players are. So we talked about that. We haven't dove into it a whole lot, but I think they're also aware. Cincinnati's an NCAA tournament team. A lot of polls, preseason top 25 team. So I think they're aware of what the level of competition and how that changes. But it's a fair point because I think you can't ever assume with freshmen that's understood. And so we need to make sure they do before we go into that game.
Just your overall impression of the first time seeing them in a game-like atmosphere, what you made of
The freshmen in particular? Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought we had some guys that were a little nervous, but I thought they did. I think what I was pleased with is we had the four freshmen really did, I think, try to play the way that we've coached our group to play, and that's really important. And I don't know, we didn't have that necessarily across the board with our group, and that's frustrating. But I think that those four guys kind of embrace what we're asking. They didn't play perfect. They missed some things, but I thought their approach was really good.
Chris, when you guys pulled away there in the second half, there was a lot of sort of DJ and Caleb playing off of each other. I think they might have combined for 7 of 8 or 8 of 9 buckets. I know it's an exhibition, and I know DJ's young, but it just seems like that pairing in particular, playing some, I don't know, two-man games, if you want to call it that, would have a high potential just because of their athleticism and versatility. What's your read on that? What do you think the potential of those two together might be moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's something that we'll continue to look at and do. We were fairly simplistic in our attack today, but your point's a good one, and that was something that we just kept going to. Part of it was because of how much under ball screens they were playing and the threat that Caleb is. He's become such a good shooter, and he's got just terrific touch, and obviously DJ's, I thought, made really good reads off of some of that stuff. So I think that'll continue to be a theme. I think as you know, because we talked about it, we have to be a group that is more diverse in a lot of ways offensively. And I think you'll see that throughout the season, that we're gonna need contributions from a lot of guys in various games, but that was something that was really good for us in this game.
And I know you can't possibly know how much you'd use it during the season, but when you do play Zoe and EJ together in the front court, just what do you like about that pairing? Why do you think they could work well together?
Well, I think they're different. They're a little bit different in how they play, and that Zoe's length is kind of a good balance to EJ's size. They're both versatile players. I would like to play them together at times. I perceive we'll do that, or I expect that we'll do that. The question there is, how are we going to be defensively with those guys early on at the 4 and the 5? Because right now, we're not good enough at playing 2 freshmen heavy minutes at those 2 important spots. But we got to get them there here as we move forward throughout the season.
You guys opened up the game in the second half. I think it's a 25-1 run, a lot of transition off the steals. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And EJ threw that oop to DJ,
Yeah.
which seemed like a lot of exciting plays in transition. How do you see that progressing for this season?
It's good to see. I thought it was good to see those guys play kind of together in transition and get a few easy ones. And I thought EJ made a great pass, and it was good to see some of those freshmen working together.
We know what DJ can do in transition, and CJ kind of showed a little bit of it too. But how did you feel they were in the half-court situations?
Got to get better. Yeah, we got to get better. We got to get better in the half court. Our decision making has to get better. I thought CJ Walker was. It's funny, he played really well in Louisville against Louisville. I think it's different playing the first time back in front of a home crowd. I think he was pretty wired, and you saw some of that tonight with some of his force stuff. But I thought he settled in and played really well as the game went on.
I know he played Alonzo at the 5 a lot tonight, but because of his size, his length, and his athleticism, he's got a wide variety of things he can do. Like, how many positions do you think he's able to play on this team?
Oh, I think we're a ways away from projecting the number of positions he can play. Basically, we don't play with a 5 sometimes. We just play 2 forwards. We don't even really call it 5s. We just play 2 forwards. And so those guys, when we play 2 forwards together, they gotta kind of know both positions. But I think he's got a world of potential, but he's got a lot of room to continue to grow defensively. But I thought he made some really good plays in his awareness defensively tonight, which was good to see in the second half. So that was good.
Kyle nearly had a double-double. He had a couple moments that were just, it sort of looked like the quintessential Kyle Young plays that we've seen last year.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you see from him today? And do you expect his game to look much different from what it did a year ago?
I think Kyle is, when he's at his best, he's changing the game with his energy and playing off other guys. That's the way Kyle's always been. When we recruited him to Butler, that's what we saw. Like, that's the way he's always been. When we recruited him, and the coaches, when I went and sat next to him at AAU, and they said they liked Kyle Young, was always his energy, his effort on the glass, his athleticism around the rim. It was always those things. And when he's at his best, he's doing that at a really high level. And I don't think that's going to change. And I think he's shot it well in the preseason, but he's special when he's doing those things.
And we talked